We are live. So we're here.
Yay. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer saved the day.
You're just hearing us
Okay.
talk about our hair and our makeup and all the things. So I'm gonna share my screen then. So I'll be the one to run the slide deck. So everybody who's here got a little sneak peek into the behind the scenes of what goes into these events, which is a lot of time and effort, but we do it because we love to do it and we're excited about it. So I'll share my screen. Let me just close out all of these windows I have open. I always have like a million windows open. Okay, let's see. Mhm.
I'm going to go ahead and close mine so I don't accidentally edit anything. We're also glad you could join us today. We have been preparing for this webinar for months, but of course, everything continues to evolve. Every day we learn something new from our colleagues, from experience. And so we really are navigating a new terrain, and we're here to guide you from what we've learned because we're in it day in and day out. And so today we really want to kind of go under the surface level of what most people I feel like we're talking about, which is how to get found online through, an AI search. But then what? Like, how are we going to turn these people from attention and visibility to a booked call on your calendar? There are multiple different flows that we can take, and we're going to go ahead and explore a lot of those today. We'll also touch on how to get found just for the people who are still struggling with that. And we'll go into the systems. We also are going to have some free resources for you today and some free opportunities with Wealthtender. So we're glad you're here. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and allow Diana to introduce herself, and then I'll say a few words about myself and we'll get started.
Oh, thank you, Olivia. Thanks for putting this together and teaming up with me on this. This is really exciting. I hosted a webinar about a month and a half ago on this topic, and I got questions that were basically asking what happens after I get the lead from ChatGPT. So I think that this teaming up and talking about process and systems and how to take these leads, qualify them, nurture them, convert them into actual clients couldn't be more timely. My name is Diana Cabrices. I'm the Chief Evangelist here at Wealthtender. We are an online digital marketing platform built specifically for advisors and kind of perfectly designed in this new sort of AI discoverability world. We help you with compliant testimonial marketing, which you'll learn today is a big part of getting yourself discoverable on AI search engines like ChatGPT, media reviews and features, as well as another area that we help advisors win, and so much more. There's a lot more that I could say, but at our heart and soul, we are a financial advisor directory that features advisors who are, ready to talk to clients about any specific topic. Maybe you specialize in divorce, maybe you specialize in tech executives, whatever it might be. We have a really detailed directory that consumers, about 500,000 of them every year, come to try to find a financial advisor and to get some financial advice. I've been in this space for about 10 years at this point. I've helped a lot of advisors over the years, and not just in marketing. I started in succession planning and M&A and moved my way along through the industry. But marketing and branding is truly where I have most of my passion. And technology. I think when you find this intersection of those things, you can really build a scalable and referable and future sellable business, which I think is super important. So, Olivia, thank you for having me, and I'll pass the mic back over to you.
Thank you so much. First, I would just like to say I apologize for the really boring background. I moved last week and I have not had a chance to decorate. So, Diana, you look super fancy and I look like I'm living in the corner of my apartment. Regardless, thank you guys. Diana is great. Wealthtender is great. I'm Olivia Luper. I'm the founder of Lexicon Advisor Growth. Not going to really go into too much except to say that we help advisors who are about 2.5 million in revenue and over annually design the legacy business that they want to sell, leave to their son, and really just put their foot down, branding, awareness, lead gen, top to bottom workflows. So that's where we are. We do require all of our clients to use Wealthtender unless it's illegal for them to do so. So that's why we like to partner up. That's a great tool, and we'll show you how to use it. Without further ado, part one of our presentation will be from Diana on getting found online. So I'll go ahead and let her take over.
Yeah, I'm just going to share some data with you all. I like to set the stage when I come in and talk to advisors and try to give you information and education. I like to just set the stage with some data. So right now, you may or may not agree with the statement that getting found online can be easy-ish, right? For some of you, a little harder than others, and that's okay because we're going to cover that today too. But what we're really wanting to focus on today is like what you do after you get found is also so very important. It's the other half of the battle. First impressions are extremely important, right? The way that you represent your business and yourself is extremely important in a trust based profession like financial advisory. So, it truly what you do after you get someone to contact you or after someone finds you and the experience that you've built out for them digitally and verbally as you speak to them and through your systems and your process is so, so important. But let's look at some data. Right now, about 60% of online searches. So I'm going to Google and I'm searching for a financial advisor near me that focuses on, female executives and without a single click, meaning people aren't necessarily clicking into that Google website review or there's a list of review or websites that Google will feed back to me that's showing me, okay, here's an advisor here, here's an advisor there. And your website is essentially what's usually up top there, sometimes a directory profile like on Wealthtender. And what's happening is people aren't really clicking anymore because now the way that Google works and other search engines are also following suit is that there's these AI summaries that are being provided directly back to the person who did the search. So I found this, 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 and this. And sometimes they even put the contact information right then and there. So this is really important to know because it changes the way we're used to getting found online. And when you think about the actual, like, how much and how many people are leaning into ChatGPT to search and even not using Google at all anymore, the data is a little wild, right? It makes you go, whoa, because there's over 700 million people now that are using ChatGPT to get answers. This was some data discovered by Neil Patel, who put this together. I don't know if you know Neil Patel, but he's a really excellent marketer to follow. And he's very wise. So I like looking at his data. And that's a lot of people. And that tells us, wow, we as financial advisors, financial professionals, we need to be making sure that we keep up with the times here, that we are findable in this type of world, but also as this happens and as people find us through tools like ChatGPT, there's a process in place for that. So what we're also finding that's interesting is conversion is proving to be a bit higher on ChatGPT than on Google. This is a popular blog called Aref's blog or Aref's blog, however you want to say it. There's a lot of data that they publish in the marketing space, and this is some recent data. And I know they're going to do probably a bigger study in the future just to get a little bit more accurate. But this is all new. Again, this is new for all of us. But what they found was that more of the visitors that came from AI search results like ChatGPT, while the actual traffic was a little bit lower than maybe when people were clicking on Google, the amount of signups coming from this traffic was higher. So it goes to pose the question, like, people on ChatGPT, are they more willing to buy, right? Are these our real buyers? And maybe anyone who's using other tools, maybe they're considered more browsers. It definitely poses the question, something for you to think about. So in general, though, if you want to get found this year, next year, and all of the time ahead, that is going to shift very quickly in all of this. And we're going to do our best to stay up with everything and to provide you with all the information that you need. Then you have to get surfaced in these tools. You have to get surfaced in these search results. So we're curious. We'd love to hear from you. I don't know if we have an official poll to launch, or you could just type it in the chat box. But go ahead and type in the chat box. Have you received a lead from ChatGPT? Curious for those of you who have joined us if you have received a lead from ChatGPT.
While you guys are typing, Shiga went ahead and asked a question. Can you clarify how we get a lead from ChatGPT? We can. There's actually an entire art and science to getting found online, both in SEO and AEO. It really is its own subject matter, how to get found in AI topic that Diana covered recently in her other webinar. So I'm sure she has a link that she can share with you. And then you can go ahead and focus on that area. But today we're focusing on the systems that will connect to getting found to getting the person on your calendar.
Exactly. It looks like chat is disabled. Thank you, Denise, for pointing that out. So if you just want to use the Q&A box to communicate with us, sorry guys, we didn't realize chat was disabled. But if you want to use the Q&A box to chat with us, feel free to just drop your comment there and we'll make sure we're taking a look at that throughout the webinar. And we do our best to kind of stop and cherry pick things. Also, we'll definitely have time at the end for an actual Q&A. Yep,
You
perfect.
can track the lead directed ChatGPT as the person calling into Midland. So okay, Denise, thank you for your contribution. So she did say that she's gotten a lead from ChatGPT and she can link it because she asked the person, it sounds like, um, who called in and said they found her. I would encourage you guys, if you do get calls from people that are from AI, ask them what they were looking for, what they were searching for, because when you're able to get that data about what inquiries are bringing you up as the result, again, this is an SEO lesson, but when you can see the inquiries about what people are looking for, so you know that 20% of your traffic to your Wealthhtender profile page or your website or your landing page or wherever is coming, or your, is coming from a certain source, then you're able to use that data to, double down on the things that are working. So always ask, what was their search intention? And that will help you because we don't currently have tools available like Google Search Console to be able to look at that on the back end, right? So
Yep.
I'm sure that that's something that'll become available, analytics on GPT, right? But that's not where we're at yet in this journey. So I encourage you to keep that data, track that data your own internally.
Totally. And Denise made a good point. Like sometimes people don't really remember, and that's okay too. Like I still think the activity of asking should absolutely be part of your process. There should be tracked in your CRM or what other tools that you're using to track, but definitely always ask. And then yeah, another advisor said he wasn't sure if he's gotten a lead from ChatGPT. Um,
Okay,
and
there's
that's
another good point because let's say, Josh, if you use an online scheduling tool, and I always say this in general, whether you're trying to rank in AI or not, is you need to have your attribution sources. How did you hear about us? LinkedIn, in-person event, referral from a client, referral from a professional, um, Google search. You now can include, if you're tracking attribution, AI as part of that, one of those sources. And so you can also include a checkbox when they do the check down, like so that they can put, how they found you or whatever other. So make sure you're tracking attribution, whether it's verbally or online, and add, AI search and maybe a type in box where they can let you know what they were looking for or their main areas of concern.
yep.
Yeah, definitely. Always, always, always a good time for anyone on here who has an online scheduling tool, Jennifer included. We should add AEO to that today. So there you
Yes.
go.
Good idea. So let's talk about what we're going to cover. Getting found, obviously how this works. There's a little bit of a playbook here that we want to share with you. But again, the bulk of what we want to talk about is what happens when you do. How can you move them from awareness to action? And then we'll have an open Q&A. And again, the chat box is disabled, but feel free to drop any questions throughout the session in the actual Q&A box. All right, Olivia, I'm going to let you actually going back
Yeah,
here.
this is
If you
still
want to say anything here.
your expertise, Lydia.
All right, perfect. Okay, so when you search now on ChatGPT, this is actually just a quick example. If you're looking for a Black financial advisor in Philadelphia, then you can see here what kind of how a ChatGPT response will look like, right? Hey, here's a few resources and professionals to consider. So they've listed out a couple of professionals. There's some links going on here. This looks like it's maybe a directory. This is also a directory. So you can see on Wealthtender, actually, one of our advisors was featured right away in this ChatGPT search result. And we're going to talk about this because there's a really good point to be made here about how ChatGPT is sourcing the information, where it's sourcing it from, and why it's choosing to recommend, in this case, James Veal and Nissi R. Smith over other Black financial advisors in Philly. There is some really interesting data on how Americans find and hire financial advisors that we have developed over at Wealthtender from a recent survey that we did. And I think it's eye opening to some of the reasons why people take to the internet to look up advisors. And it's not just to find you, but it's also to evaluate you and stack you up against other advisors. So I know we can't link it in the chat, but when we do a follow up email for this webinar, we'll definitely link this study. But there's a few interesting points here. 97% of consumers plan to contact two or more advisors before making a hiring decision. And they're definitely going to be using tools like ChatGPT or Google to figure out, okay, who is it should I talk to? And they're going to make their lists, right? And so ChatGPT is kind of already doing that for them. It's making lists for them. It's even ranking the lists based on certain attributes that we're going to get into as well. 80% of people want to read online reviews about financial advisors. Yes, you better believe that this is part of what ChatGPT is incorporating and why it's recommending certain advisors over the others. 96% of people referred to an advisors are going to research them first. So even if somebody refers you, that person is going to go to online, maybe ChatGPT, maybe Google. In this case, we're starting to lean more towards ChatGPT to do their research. Hey, what can you tell me about this advisor? What pops up when you ChatGPT your name? I used to ask what pops up when you Google your name, but now I want you to ChatGPT your name and see what pops up.
Diana, I don't know about you, but I use ChatGPT for everything. I think it's going to be the
Yep.
end of humanity one day, but that's neither here nor there. I told my sister she just moved to town. She wants to buy a boat. She has to, she needs to find storage. I said, just ask ChatGPT. She's like, oh yeah, I always forget. So per your adoption chart and also what you're saying, it's not going to slow down, and it's probably going to replace Google and Bing and all of those things to a large capacity by most people, especially the elderly community in the coming years, because it is so easy. Now, I guess there is the possibility that it could do what Alexa Skills did and kind of take a little while, but I don't think that's the case. As we can see from the data, it's happening now, it's happening already. So I think that this, is important.
It's so important. Yep. So I want to talk about a quick concept of the concept of AEO in general, right? Answer engine optimization. Most of you have probably heard of the term SEO. It's what we've relied on for years, search engine optimization. But now that the way we search has shifted and tools like ChatGPT are really just giving us answers immediately versus us having to search through different pages on Google to kind of develop our own answers, it's really cutting out the middleman, right? So that's really what AEO means. But there's two forms of AEO that I think are important and are very much taking into consideration on ChatGPT. The first is on-site. The second is off-site. On-site is what you own. It's your website. It's what you're saying about yourself and what you're putting on your website. It's your property, your digital property. Off-site is what other pages have to say about you and how you're featured on other pages. And according to ChatGPT, both of them matter. In fact, ChatGPT is more likely to source and recommend you if you have more offsite AEO than just on-site, right? Or if you just have on-site and no offsite, the chances of you getting recommended are a bit lower because it's credibility. It's the internet telling ChatGPT, hey, this is a pretty good advisor, or this is an advisor worth surfacing in your results because they're not just featured here, but they're featured here, here, and here.
Right. And I think that one thing you said, surfacing, right? One thing that's important to remember is like, it's not really important whether you think you're worth surfacing or whether your clients think you're worth surfacing. When it comes to business generation and getting found online, it matters if the platforms in which you're operating are going to allow you to operate at the optimal level and serve you up on a platter to the people that want to see you.
Yep.
So we need those third party credibility pieces, and that's something that Wealthtender's website gives by having high domain authority
Yep.
and being a platform also, naturally we know this, where people can go find advisors. So
Such a good point. And in the world of SEO, I would often tell advisors the high domain authority that you instantly benefit from when you have a page on Wealthtender that features you. Again, that's the heart and soul of what we do is we feature advisors in our directory. then you're probably going to come up really high up on that Google search results list where all those links are. But now this is shifted to AEO. The conversation is now, well, you're probably going to be surfaced in these AI search results that are already giving people answers. You can see from this example here, Whitman Wealth Management. So Beverly is on Wealthtender, and she also has a website. And right away, you can see this AI overview. When I ask, what do people say about Whitman Wealth Management? You have Beverly's page here, Wealthtender. You have a Barron's page here. These are third party sites, offsite AEO. And then you have her website here, which comes up first on the search results. So truly,
Wow.
both matter. What else are people searching for right now? They're searching for niche experience. This couldn't be more important. In fact, I firmly believe this is the best time to niche down than ever before, because that is really what ChatGPT is all about. Is like, I'm going to ChatGPT and I'm typing in like 3 paragraphs about what I'm looking for. Hey, I need an advisor who can help me with this because I have all these things going on. I have this problem and I really want to make sure this is what happens. And I've seen this and I've heard that. I mean, we're typing paragraphs into ChatGPT. We didn't used to do that on Google because it would throw off the Google search results. It would be like, sorry, there's nothing that exists for that 3 paragraphs you just typed. ChatGPT is way different. It's gonna literally feed you. It's conversing with you. So, in my opinion, niching down is really, really important. But this is just another search example. Can you help me find an advisor for AbbVie executives? AbbVie is a corporation, and right here we have, yep, hey, leverage online resources like Wealthtender or Financial Design Studio, which specifically helps AbbVie executives with their retirement options. So all of this offsite AEO is coming in handy here through these niche searches. You even have Dave Grant, who works with AbbVie executives, a financial advisor, populating right here as well. Okay, so that's just a touch on data and how this is all kind of shifting. At the end of the webinar, we'll talk a little bit more about sort of that playbook of what it's going to take to even get surfaced. But let's talk now more about, okay, when you do get that attention, how do you shift that into awareness and beyond that into action?
Right, definitely. So, what happens after somebody discovers you? Is there a system that you have that turns their curiosity into a conversation? I believe wholeheartedly that the real challenge is not getting seen because we can plug and play that to some extent. We know that if we check a certain amount of XYZ boxes, that over the coming months, if we continue checking those boxes, we're going to continue to rank higher and wider and deeper because the AEO is way more 360-degree view, in my opinion, than SEO. So if we consistently check these boxes, we consistently get attention, great. Now let's move on to the growth part. How do we turn this attention into actual dollars? Because I've talked to hundreds of financial advisors in the past couple years. So recently, I would say thousands over the long term, probably, but that's what happens when you're in this industry for a decade. But um, really, what are we going to do to get people from knowing about us to doing something? Because if you've ever hired a marketing company or a growth firm or a business consultant who's helping you with growth, that is the holy grail. Are there people coming to the prospect calls? And then are they signing up to be a client? Those are two checkpoints that are critical in order to generate business online. So I love this slide in particular because it's one that tends to stop people in their tracks when you say that attention, what people actually see is not actually what drives growth. Now, let me unpack that for a second. When we're talking about building a digital infrastructure, client journeys, getting people from AI to your calendar, we're talking about the stuff behind the scenes, just like you'll see in this iceberg photograph, right? You have to put in motion, build and put in motion all of this infrastructure, right? You've got to have your website or your landing page or your wealth tender profile. Then you've got to have an opt-in option to collect their lead information. Then you've got to have a follow-up to nurture them to the booked call. Then after the booked call. So I like to think of these different steps like on the customer journey as lily pads, right? It's what they see are the lily pads. They hop, hop, hop. But what's happening behind the scenes is what's connecting all the lily pads so that they eventually end up to on your calendar, right? So that's what I mean when I say the real growth doesn't come from the stuff that you're putting out there. It comes from the stuff that you're doing behind the scenes to keep the people in your ecosystem and encourage them to catalyze action, book the call. So, um, again, what actually drives growth is not the visibility. It's, living below the surface in the systems.
I think visuals like this are so important because we can often lose sight of what it actually takes behind the scenes for the machine to like keep going and all the different components of the machine because that is truly what this is about. You are building a machine, an assembly line as you mentioned, and I think having a visual like this is always so helpful because it's like, all right, let me like, when you need to go back and do a tune up, right? Like where are we maybe getting stuck, right? Okay, here's where we're not getting results. What can we do? Well, here's all the little, sub items within this section and this part of the machine that keep that thing moving smoothly, right? So
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of visuals like this.
Cool, because I'm gonna show you about 6 of these. No,
Okay.
but for real, like, I have been, review like, this is a good time of year, I'm doing this with my clients to review your marketing infrastructure, and I'll show you some samples, but, are you using all of it, first of all? Are
Mhm.
you diluting your efforts across too many platforms, too many strategies, right? Um, where are we going to focus in Q1, for example? Let's say we have 3 funnels, one for widows, one for business owners, and one for children with special needs or parents of children with special needs. Maybe in Q1, we're really going to focus on the special needs funnel, or maybe in Q2, or, maybe disregard the fact that those are target audience based. It doesn't matter how you organize them, but the point is it's a good time to review it right now. You always need to be able to see your entire infrastructure at one time because otherwise, how the hell do you know what you're doing?
Mhm.
Right? So it's a good exercise. Now is a good time of year to do it. Really, this is more for your education. There's not really too much to say here. It's more for the visual aid. Um, there's 100 things you can do in marketing. They have different parts. There's different things that you're supposed to do at different points, right? Each
Right.
tool serves its own function. So in particular, when it comes to AI search, there we don't exactly know. There's no way with predictability at the current moment to say, hey, when someone searches this, you come up number 6, or when they search this, it shows them this link. So we don't have data to say, hey, this is what you come up as in search, right? Because people are searching for different things, they're prompting it with different things. And so the AI is taking an input, a widely variable input, meaning from person to person to person to person, what they're asking for and the reason that you come up might be, wildly different. But the point being that I put together the 4 kind of main sources that you see that advisors people go to next after they see an advisor in AI search. And what I mean by go to next is they've clicked the link in AI or they've manually taken an action based on the recommendation from AI. So maybe they've clicked through your website or they're going to type in your website. Doesn't matter. It's just the next step, right? A next lily pad. So if AI search was the first step, then these are the second steps, the second options. So what I'm going to do really quickly, now I'm a very creative person and not incredibly organized all the time. Um, but I'm just going to show you a little behind the scenes here because I have nothing to hide. And I think that it's going to give you a good lesson. So everybody builds kind of their funnel flows a little bit differently, but you'll notice in these boxes that we have the different stages of the sales funnel. We have the awareness stage, right? How people are going to see you for the first time. Um, interest. What are they going to, how are they going to opt in? Meaning, how are we going to get their lead information? Is it a contact us form? Is it an outbound social media DM through LinkedIn? Is it a landing page link where they can apply to work with you or get your exclusive wealth longevity multiplier system? Whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, so these are the opt-in options. And then
Are
how are
you are
we gonna,
you sharing something, Olivia?
oh, is it not working?
I don't know that I'm seeing anything, but that just might be because I'm also I can stop share if you want to like take over share for what you're showing. Is that good?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Brian says he can see it. I'm so
Okay.
sorry. It's
No,
just
that's okay. It does say I'm sharing, so
yeah. Okay. Good. Don't worry about it then.
okay. Let me if anybody can't see it, please say so in the questions because I have my screen open. So does anybody said anything?
No, everyone sees it. It's just me. It's
Okay. Well, oh my goodness. Okay, now I've just gone off of where I was supposed to go. Okay.
fine.
No, that's the free resource.
While you pull that up, by the way, we got a question. I'll just quickly touch on this. How does LinkedIn and other social media results affect AEO? If a firm cannot engage in platforms like LinkedIn, does that affect their AEO results? And this is a really interesting
That's a
one, right?
really good question.
Because right now, what I'm not seeing is I'm personally not seeing a whole lot of like LinkedIn being plugged into ChatGPT
Nope,
results.
never, not once. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not yet. And I love LinkedIn, so I'm not hating
So
on
do I.
LinkedIn, but it's just a
Same.
reality.
Same. So I think, I don't think they're going to affect your AEO results. Now, if you target business professionals who might be using LinkedIn to research you, that's a different story. But as from an AEO perspective, not quite. Sorry,
That's
I
a really good
interrupted
question,
you.
though. I know. I wish it did because I'm on LinkedIn all the time.
Yeah.
Um, so we have, the awareness stage, our interest stage, which is the opt-in, and then we've got the decision-making stage, nurture. So we're sending them emails. Maybe we're calling them. Maybe it's a follow-up after an in-person event. We're going to send them a text message. Whatever it is, follow up, right? So let's go over here. This was a draft that I was making for a client, for his company, and I put this alongside so you could get a visual representation without having to build in another one. From AI search, and these are the four options that I put in the slide deck. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. From AI search, let's say they go to a landing page, or they can join your email list landing page, a website, Wealthtender profile. I think I put YouTube in as another one in the deck. So YouTube. Okay, so then this is what I mean by mapping your infrastructure, right? This is what I've got. I've got a website, I've got email marketing, I've got social media, I've got a Wealth Tender profile. Okay, now once somebody sees my Wealth Tender profile, what can they do? Once somebody sees my website, what can they do? So let's take the website as an example because it's a very complex one. Any given website can have multiple opt-in options, meaning the pink layer, right? So when you go to a website, you can fill out a contact us form. You can download a free resource like a webinar, a downloadable. You can sign up to go to an event. You can join the email list. You can view a Wealth Tender profile. Now, some of these links will take you through different stages of the awareness stage and to different interest checkpoints. They might click around for a while between interest and awareness and not do anything. So then it's once they actually opt into the interest stage, then they will, now they're in the nurture phase. But um, so once they get see you from AI, they might go to your website and then they can take any of the website options. Well, it might direct them directly to a landing page, in which case they'll start on your email sequence and then they'll get your email correspondence. If they go to your Wealth Tender profile, they can click through to your website. See, now we're up in this top phase again, right? And that's okay because people are going to spend time there. They're going to learn you, watch your videos, subscribe to your email list, watch your video course. And then when the time is right, or you've said that thing that's going to catalyze them to do that thing at that right moment, at that right time, they're going to go ahead and book that call. Now, sometimes it takes longer, and sometimes it takes 8 months, sometimes it takes 8 weeks, sometimes it takes 8 days. Depends how well you've warmed them up, how ready they are to buy, uh, and how compelling, how tight your systems are, because this is going to be, especially for high net worth individuals, a make or break situation. they found you. Now, they're going to find you in other places. They're going to go through your ecosystem. That ecosystem better run like a really expensive car, a Ferrari or something, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's got to be smooth. It's got to be luxury. You're creating an experience for your client that should feel like freedom,
Yes.
stress free, confidence, hope for the future. None of that is going to be reflected if your systems are broken and they fall through the cracks. You're not going to sign that client. Somebody else whose system is tight is. So it is critical. And I'm skipping through like all of my slides. So we might have already touched on something that's coming up, but
Very good.
systems create the client experience. Again, what grows a business isn't the stuff that you always see. It's the stuff that makes the stuff you see run.
Mm.
So build the car, put in the fuel, run the car. But if you're on three tires, you're not making it across the country. So this is why we have to map out our infrastructure. Okay, let me go stop sharing. I'm going to go back to the slide deck. Now, I
I see
will
that.
say I apologize if any of this seems cursory or perfunctory. I am in no way trying to be surface level. This is just a very dense topic. But I do think that having a understanding of it is going to be critical to your success. So, um,
And the right partner. Yeah.
and yes, and the right partner. I will
And
say,
if you're on this, like, screenshot this right now, because this alone is enough content to have you busy working on your car, on your systems for
yeah.
plenty of time. Plenty
Yeah,
of time.
you have plenty of time. So, there are actually so of these four main points, I just kind of like I put the website in the landing page samples. I didn't include them all. I know we don't have time to go through all of this. If you want the workflow for the other two options, you can DM me or email me, and I'll be happy to send them your way. We just didn't have space today, but landing page, opting for lead magnet. Okay, again, the lily pads, automation. How are we going to connect the lily pads? Technically speaking, we have to use automation. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of automation. Suffice it to say that for this conversation, you capture your lead, you want to nurture them, conversion, onboarding, retention. As you can see from the funnel flow, each step is its own entity. While it is not independent of the other entities, uh, it does require its own attention, and each step requires its own detail. This slide really is here though for this pro tip. Automate between pro tools between tools first. So if you can get your website to automatically integrate with something, or your Calendly to automatically integrate with your email, that's really the most common one. Calendly or OneSub to email. Then you can eliminate the Zapier in between. Think of it like the more tools, the more things that can break. So if you can automate in between your own tools, that's great. If not, you'll have to use Zapier to be the linking mechanism. But so on this note, I did include a free resource for you guys. It's not fancy, but it is very good. It is the top 5 email marketing automations that fastest growing advisors are using in their business now. Um, and it will help you make sure that none of your leads or prospects are falling through the cracks from opt-in to CRM to follow-up. So go ahead and grab that. Again, that's something that could keep you busy for a while. This is a lot of times why our company comes in for about a 6-month engagement and builds your marketing machine and teaches your team exactly how to run it, and then you have the choice of partnering with us for ongoing implementation. But in that first 6 months of our engagement, we're going to build the infrastructure for the business that you are going to take to the finish line of your retirement. So there's a lot of work to be done, and it's very intentional work. Diana, would you mind going back one slide, please?
Yeah, sure. I just downloaded this myself.
Okay, cool. So, again, we have to decide what lily pads we're going to build the lily pads, and then we use automation to connect everything in the background. This is really where your visibility just goes from being seen to taking action. I was trying to describe this to my sister yesterday, and if you have kids, you'll know in the Finding Nemo movie, the turtles get on the EAC to go to like Australia or something or some other part of the world. And you see the ocean, and then there's like this funnel of water that pulls them and sucks them in really fast to get them where they want to go, like a super highway underwater. And that is what automation is going to do for you. If you automate, it's like putting them in the, it just sucks them up and put them in the system, right? Like you're going to increase your time. You're going to decrease your timeline from turning that lead into a client. So automation,
Totally.
automation.
And it's the same concept with what's happening now with ChatGPT. AI is becoming that just like accelerant to getting
Yes.
people to where they want to land, which is in the hands of a good financial advisor. So I think the same exact can be said as like they're accelerating with AI and you're accelerating and building with automation and AI as well, because a lot of these tools have really cool AI capabilities now.
Yeah, most of them do.
Yeah,
Most of them have some sort of AI function within them, whether it's writing your email test line, your subject line, or whatever. They're finding ways to integrate it everywhere. So
it's exciting. It definitely takes a lot of the headache out of Zapier.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Zapier is one of those things that you hate to do, but once you get it, you're like, yeah, it's time. The
Yes,
queen of the world.
yes, 100%. Ah,
So basically, the question becomes when a lead finds you on ChatGPT, are they going to get that good experience and want to stay and talk to you, or are they going to get a dead end? Because that's no good either. That's just as bad as not being found at all.
mm,
So we've really got to hone in on this here.
yeah, I could not agree more.
And so, one thing that I say when you're going through this process is, what would my viewer do? And I say viewer because they're not yet a lead yet or a prospect. They're just a viewer of your things, your
Mhm.
items. How do you know? What would my viewer do? So look at each step. What could my viewer do from here? Oh, look, I have a LinkedIn button. They could go to LinkedIn. Then what? Here's the different options that they have. So I showed you a very simplified funnel format for today's purposes, but when you do it, you should also consider putting out conditional formatting. Um, so, did they schedule the call? Yes or no? Did they show up? Yes or no? You need to have a path for every single option that person could take. Now, don't worry, some of it's easy. Maybe they go to LinkedIn and they download a lead magnet. Well, you don't have to do anything because guess what? Your email nurture sequence is automated. Yippee. Do you know how many times I have run an advertisement, run SEO, done basically any of the things? Zero. I've been in business for 8 years. I do incredibly well. I have never had to do anything because my systems are smooth. I never had to run a single ad or run SEO. I just did my thing. But because my systems are tight, people come, people find me, they read my emails. One of my favorite clients, actually, that was his funnel that we were looking at. When he first met me, he said, "I have an entire folder of your emails in my Outlook box. I just love them. I've been following you forever. I don't even know how I found you." But when you're consistent and your systems do the work for you, you get somebody who shows up on your calendar and says, "Oh, I'm ready to sign today." Oh, okay. Sure, let me get your credit card number. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the tighter your systems are, the better you're going to do overall.
Yeah, you can scale. And this is so funny that you share that example because I literally love your emails, Olivia. I'm like, oh,
Really?
these are such good emails. Yeah, and guess
Yay.
what? I get them like clockwork. Like they're there. It's a system, and they're all interesting and good. And guys,
Thank you.
there's tools for that too. You don't have to be an incredible copywriter. There's people like Olivia and her team that can write. There's tools out there that exist with great content. So it does so much come down to the system of it. That's amazing that he shared that with you.
Oh, yeah, I know. I love it. I'll never forget. The ego loves a good ego boost.
If you want to take a quick screenshot of this, go ahead, feel free.
Yeah, or just, I'll send you copies. This, like I said, this is a very cursory, like beginning to map out his funnel flow system, and I just worked on top of it to show you guys some examples.
Love it. Oh, we had some fun comments to the EAC. That's where the turtles were headed. Righteous.
Yeah,
The
right.
turtles are definitely my favorite part of the whole show, the whole movie.
Yeah.
They're so cool. I'm like, oh, I want to be your friend.
Just yeah, exactly. So the key takeaway I think that I really got like you guys to just remember in any of your marketing efforts is that attention starts the conversation. Yes, this is of ultimate importance when we're generating business online, but systems are what create the actual growth. And I don't think that any of us are out here to just talk to people. We are here to also grow our business. So no harm in that. We are fortunate enough to be in businesses where we can help good people have better lives and their jobs help those people have better lives. So I think that we can all feel good about what we do and not feel bad about making money. Um, and systems are the way to do that when you're talking about capturing online attention.
100%. Love that. So if you're here with us and you're wondering, okay, well, I haven't really even gotten a lead from ChatGPT, or I know some of you aren't really sure, but like, how can I get more visitors and more attention first as I also work on these systems? I'm going to just go through a quick, simple playbook with you to cover that. And this is quick and simple. It does go a little bit deeper. I have a whole webinar on that you can watch. I know Brian's already linked it in the Q&A box, but if you didn't get it, feel free to drop a question in the Q&A box and we'll link it to you because I'm not sure that everyone can see those answers or not. But the first thing and the most important thing is that you focus on getting client reviews. This is social proof, and to AI tools like ChatGPT, it's sentiment signaling. So, hey, this person has good EQ and there's emotion tied around this business and this logic. Remember, a lot of our decisions are made by emotion, not just logic. And ChatGPT loves that. So they will show preference to advisors who have online reviews over the ones that don't. If you really don't know where to start, I've got a playbook here that I've linked for you in just a second. And so, but just knowing like this is really a big part of the battle. This is really a really important component of getting featured on tools like ChatGPT. When you Google anything, right? Best financial advisor, like this is kind of always what's happened, right? Google's always going to surface those with good reviews. So you see here, all of these financial companies have great reviews. And the same thing happens in ChatGPT, just in a little bit of a different format, as I've said, AEO versus SEO. What's interesting though, and this was actually, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but that study that I referenced, 83% of people still want to read online reviews after being referred to a financial advisor, but only 9% of advisors publish reviews. So this is a huge gap, and this is a huge opportunity for any of you who are on the line and who haven't gotten started with online reviews yet. So
Talking of cute subject lines, last Christmas, I sent my client, I've been asking them for months. If anybody in my clients who doesn't have testimonials yet know that I don't shut up about it. And I sent him an email message, and the subject line was Christmas tree. All I want for Christmas is dot, dot, dot. And the next thing I said was for you to sign up for Wealthtender. And
I
he
love
said,
that.
you must be in marketing or something. I guess I'm going to have to do it. So we finally got him in.
That's a good way to ask, and that's even inspiration on, depending on your client base, but like, hey, it's my birthday or my anniversary, or all I want for Christmas is for you to share your story and experience of working with me so that it could help other people. So love
Right.
that,
Yeah.
love that example.
I
This
love, yes.
and examples like this are covered in this playbook. So if you want to snag this playbook, feel free to pull out your phone, scan the QR code. It's a free testimonial marketing playbook
Mhm.
that we built at Wealthtender, and you can go deeper on the topic. The second item here is to build reputation. This is authority and expertise. So a lot of the whole offsite AEO that we talked about before, that's really coming into play here. Remember, you want to be featured not just on your own pages that you own, but also on other pages, third-party directories, in the media, in industry publications, maybe on award pages if you've won awards, or have applied and successfully been selected as a finalist for an award, top financial advisor list. You don't have to be on all of these things, but you should focus on some of them. The easiest way to do it is getting a directory listing going. Like hands down, that's going to be way easier to contact Wealthtender. We'll put up your page for you, and that'll start literally working for you the same day. I've had advisors share with me like this literally worked the same day. I'm now in ChatGPT versus like trying to go get in the media, but that's still important too. This is some interesting data from Muckrack. They are a PR software company. More than 89% of AI cited links, like on ChatGPT, come from earned media. This means coverage and promo generated by others. So, another way of thinking about earned media is that offsite mention, that offsite AEO. This is from Dan, and he said, I just asked ChatGPT who were the top 10 advisors in my area, and I was an honorable mention because of Wealthtender. Pretty cool. I just moved here 7 months ago and ranked higher than firms that have been in the area for years.
Yeah, it's a cheat code, man.
It's a
Take the
cheat
cheat
code.
code.
It's a cheat code.
And
And
the great one sorry, one thing.
no,
The great thing about this cheat code is that it allows you to take it's we're not even talking about we've only talked about one little benefit of this program,
yeah.
which is getting found online. We haven't even talked about the other benefits, but um yeah, I lost my train of thought. I'll think of it in a second. Go keep going.
But they all work together.
Yeah, they all work together.
I love the term cheat code, honestly.
Cheat code,
Um,
yeah.
as someone who, grew up on video games, like, yeah, we all love a good cheat code. So this is awesome. And this is just one example. I have other advisors who have shared, like, oh, I started popping up on ChatGPT the same day I got on Wealthtender, or I had reviews on Google, but I didn't have them on Wealthtender. Wealthtender also features your reviews and actually does it in a compliant way compared to Google. And whenever I imported my Google reviews into Wealthtender, same day I was brought up on ChatGPT. So let's talk about this third one. Maybe I'll pass the baton here to you, Olivia.
Okay, so I remembered what I was gonna say, and now it's related to this slide, so I'm gonna go ahead and just work in my conversation.
Okay.
Um, so as you can tell from my passion about these systems is that growth is not accidental. The people who are out there growing aren't just really cool, cooler than you. People like them. They might have a lot of money and they might be running like $500,000 in ads every month, but you can't compete with that unless you're going to do the same thing. So what you can do is have a ironclad company message, ironclad systems, and a team who is properly trained and equipped to handle operating those. And that is really the goal here is to build these systems for you, get you the advantages of growth and scale with less stress. You do not want to architect your own system, I promise. And I 9 out of 10 of the in-house advisors that I see don't know how to architect these systems either. Um, so just be sure, that you're working with someone that you trust because these are meaningful first impressions for people that could potentially become your clients and have the robust capabilities to handle all of this technology. Um,
I
so
love this.
some tips. Yeah. So just
I
some
love
quick
this
tips
down
here.
here. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
You're fine. Make sure that you set up online scheduling if you're allowed. It's just statistically, since I started in this industry, you book more calls that way, period. Every opt-in option needs an email follow-up, at least one. And if you are doing ongoing email, then they need an entire nurture sequence. So if you aren't doing email marketing ongoing, your opt-in options at least need a sequence for every single one of them. And unless you just want them to sit in the ether and collect dust. But if you want them to work, then that's what I recommend. And then use the WWMVD, what would my viewer do tool to audit current funnels and journeys. So Lucid Spark, Lucid app is the technology program that I use to make any kind of workflows or funnel flows, the visual representations. So you can try it out. I would like a copy of one of my funnel samples. You can email me or whatever. Um, but yes, architecting your growth system, find someone who can help you do it that you trust because it should be the last one you ever build and you can add on to it and you can subtract from it. It should be a living, breathing document, just like a financial plan.
Absolutely. You've got to make changes over time. I like the what would my viewer do audit approach. One thing I want everyone to think about is there's a reason it's called AEO, answer engine optimization. It's looking for answers. So make sure as you audit your systems, your website, your funnels, are you giving answers along the way, especially on your website? Because if AI is looking for answers from different websites and pages online, even your directory like Wealthtender, you need to make sure you're giving it those answers. So, what are the questions that your clients are asking you? Are those questions incorporated across these different pages of yours and funnels of yours? And are you giving answers to them? So it's on the visibility side. It's also on your system side. That doesn't end. They're going to have questions all along the way.
Yes.
All right.
Uh,
What are some next steps, Olivia, before we get to Q&A?
yeah, what can you do now? Get listed on Wealthhtender and make my Christmas great again. Map your marketing infrastructure. Are you solving for the top of funnel activities, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel? Where could you improve? Automate as much as you can. And again, only use Zapier if you have to. It's great and it does work wonders. But when you can direct automate it, you're going to have fewer problems to diagnose if they occur. Create consistent review and reputation touch points. So, how often are you reaching out to your clients? Is it part of your onboarding workflow where maybe 6 months after they sign to become a new client, you ask them for feedback on their experience? Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? What do you feel comfortable with based on your service product and the way that you service your clients? Asking for that review. Build it in, automate that too. So you can build this in your email marketing, So these are all things that we can handle for you, get set up for you. If your hands don't have to touch it and it works great, the better, right? Well, that's
Mm,
what we all feel like in my business. And, you know.
yeah. I think that's very helpful. Advisors are busy humans, they're busy professionals. And I, even as a marketer myself, like there's times when something might break in my system because I am not totally a perfect systems person. I'm more of
Oh,
a
no, me neither. I need help with,
conversational, I'm
yeah.
more of a conversational marketer. And it's just like,
Wait, girl, but
whoa.
I can't clone you. I can't give one of you to every client. So we have to come up with plan B.
Yes, yes. So it can be very frustrating when things break. So grab this complimentary resource if you haven't already. And then I say, let's take a look at our chat and see if there's any remaining questions. I know we answered some along the way. And by the way, if you're also here and you want to learn how to get featured on Wealth Tender, then you can scan this QR code. We used to have this coupon code. I don't know if it's still effective anymore. I'm so sorry. We might be able to turn it on for you guys, though. I didn't even realize that was here. I used this slide previously, but I'm sure we could find some time to honor that for you. But go ahead and scan that QR code. It'll take you over to our page where you can learn more about the program. You can literally sign up in less than 2 minutes. You can watch a video, you can take an interactive tour, you can see how other advisors rave about Wealthtender and why, because it is simple, it is easy, and it is very cost effective. And that's why if you work with Olivia on your systems, she actually requires her clients to be on Wealthtender. It's such a low lift, high impact marketing tool for you as well.
Yeah, for what it costs and what the return is, it's the cheapest marketing investment you'll ever made in making one of the best tools. So if you don't do it, then and you're allowed, then you're probably just not really that interested in growing.
It's
That's
like
okay too. But if
I
you're
like
here,
your
my guess is that you are. So
I like the confidence too. Yep. And
yeah.
let us know in the chat, like, what did you think about the session? Is there any more questions you still
Oh,
have?
there is a question I said I was going to answer. So this is from
Okay.
Michael, CFA, CIMA, CAIA, lots of C's. And many of the companies I've worked for, they don't allow recommendations on LinkedIn. Is there a workaround? Now, I don't know what specific hang up the company has with the LinkedIn recommendation, but typically the problem is that they are not aware that there are compliant ways to collect testimonials. Use the testimonial statement disclosure in order to be able to use the ones that you've collected on Wealthhtender and take them and put them in your landing page, put them on your website, put them on in your email marketing campaigns, make a social media graphic out of it, right? Because the first layer is that Wealthhtender is a cool tool to get people to find the advisors online. The second reason is that it will help you get found online, even if the person never goes to Wealthhtender. Three, it helps you collect testimonials compliantly online so that four, your marketer is super happy that she has testimonials she can use to put in her social graphics and her email, because testimonials are a critical part of the middle to bottom of the funnel process. Yes, they're good for awareness too, but more typically, they're for people who already know about you, are trying to make a decision. Maybe it's a hot lead, right? A person who's scheduled a prospect call, but they're on the fence. That's a lot of times we'll put a lot of testimonials in that email follow-up sequence because we want to tell them, look, I gave you my service offer, but this is what my people are saying about me. I'm good at what I do and I can help you too, you know? So there's so many layers to it, but you should be able to take a Wealthtender testimonial, use it with the testimonial statement, and put it in any other part of your marketing unless your company has a certain hang up with LinkedIn or something. I would ask because, they might look into the product and say, "Oh, okay, we're okay with this." I've seen that happen a lot with some of the other programs where the company will look into them and, approve them as a vetted vendor or whatever it is. That
Yeah, it's
helped.
I think definitely ask what's the testimonial marketing policy for sure. Because if it's restricted on LinkedIn, it's probably restricted elsewhere, or they just have a bone to pick with LinkedIn for whatever reason. But also, it's the same thing as Google, right? Like if they don't allow it on LinkedIn, they probably won't allow it on Google because
Right.
clients can't leave disclosures. You can't populate disclosures yourself, which is usually the way this works. Well, Tinder is different. Like that, you're going through the disclosure process for every review. So yeah, I have a cool comment here from Josh. He says, "Well, Tinder is the Apple of review software providers. I spent less than 45 minutes on the whole process. I'm hoping more advisors don't figure out about it in my area."
Ooh, you
All
should
right.
see. Look there. He just gave you a
He
testimonial.
did. Thank you, Josh.
Oh, and Brian's gone now, but we got to send it to him.
We really appreciate that. And then Clifford says many compliance departments do not permit endorsements. So Clifford, this is kind of changing since the new marketing rule came out in 2022. You can absolutely have testimonials and endorsements. They're quite different, but they are allowed for SEC for SEC advisors. Now, state registered advisors is where some states are still red light, but many states have already moved on to like green light status where you can use testimonials in your marketing. So please contact us at Wealthtender. We're here to help. We're happy to help. In fact, I'll just kind of type out Brian at wealthtender.com. He's our CEO and he spends a lot of time on the regulatory side. He's a member of the National Society of Compliance Professionals. And I would say he especially has moved mountains in this space for advisors. So it could just be that your company hasn't kept up or hasn't updated their policies, but they absolutely should. And we are so happy to go to bat for you and help out on that.
Yeah, you should definitely take her up on that because Brian is he has a way of getting things done. I'm telling you.
Yes, he really does.
You did too. So I like,
Oh, I try. So do you. Olivia, how can people reach out to you? What's the best way to contact you? I know we're
yeah,
downloadable, but what else?
right. So you've got my downloadable. I am very active on LinkedIn. Olivia Luper, Lexicon Advisor Growth. All of my cool links the things I want you to go to are in my featured section. So really, I would just recommend going to my LinkedIn page and you'll find everything you need.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I love teaming up on this. You brought so much good content to the table. No surprise. Really good resources, the downloadable. Like my brain is thinking systems now. So
I know.
that's
I feel like I'm reeling. I need to like harness this energy, but I did want to let you guys know that I will be sending the recording to everyone who is attended and not attended. We will send also the link to the study that Diana mentioned, and we'll include links to our free resources or the QR code, whichever looks
perfect.
better.
Yeah. Thank you, Olivia.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
everyone.
Diana. A pleasure. And everyone who came, thank you.
Thank
Bye.